This episode of The Give and Go is brought to you by Verizon, an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 2026. If you're with Verizon like us, you have the opportunity to score golden tickets to watch a portion of the FIFA World Cup from the field for the first time ever and closer than ever before. Enter now for a once-in-a-lifetime chance to win this exclusive pitch-side access in the My Verizon app.
And if you're not a Verizon customer, make the switch today. Don't miss out. The Golden Ticket Sweepstakes ends on November 20th. This FIFA World Cup, no one gets you closer than Verizon. No purchase necessary. For terms and conditions, check out My Access within the My Verizon app.
Hello and welcome back to The Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero, what's up, y'all?
Folks, it is the international break preview for Mexico and the USA, with both teams set to face off against Uruguay and Paraguay. Let's key in on Mexico first as they play against Uruguay on Saturday at Estadio Corona, where Santos Laguna plays.
That's dope.
And then they will be hosting Paraguay on Tuesday at the Alamo Dome, San Antonio. Maybe we even go to that game.
Also pretty lit.
Maybe we go to that game.
Two great choices for hosting.
Two great choices. Yeah, honestly, instead of Oakland, where they were at last time for Japan. Y'all know my thoughts on that. But coming off of a very interesting window where they face off against Ecuador and Colombia, losing 4-0 to Colombia, but then tying Ecuador, there is then a whole month-long break for them to go back to club, gain their form, gain their confidence, and Javier Aguirre to judge the talent and make his picks for his most recent selection of call-ups. A list that I'm calling the best call-ups Mexico has had in 3-4 years, brother.
And is it because...
No,
damn it, man.
No, take him out, man. Take him out. Y'all know, you already know who's hinting at, brother. But we can go through it. Let's go through it because I know it's a crazy claim, but I haven't felt this good about each sector of the pitch in a long, long time.
Right.
Yes, obviously Hormiga Gonzalez gets called back, but so does Gilberto Mora, bro.
Yeah,
he's joining the team again. A player that completely adds a new dynamic to our midfield. Let's go all the way back. Malagon, Rangel, Acevedo get the call up. I think Malagon is going to start these matches. Nothing new there.
No.
Does Ochoa deserve to be at the World Cup?
I thought so 2 years ago, but he's just not getting called up. He's not getting any playing time. I think the chance to do that was at this Gold Cup, just considering the talent that Mexico has to face. It would have been perfect to try Ochoa. But I think the fact that we're in November 2025 and Ochoa just has not seen the pitch for Mexico, I would say no. Like I would be so surprised if Ochoa gets any playing time at the World Cup.
Yeah, I think the question of should he get called up is different from the question of will he get called up because it's Ochoa, because he has that track record, he's got that aura to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get the call up until a month before the World Cup, man.
I see. Yeah.
There's no reason to bring him to these matches. And in the past, we've seen old goalkeepers make appearances at the World Cup, like a Conejo Perez, for example, for Mexico, I believe in 2010. I wouldn't be surprised if Javier Aguirre, who called up Conejo Perez in that tournament, does the same here and calls up Ochoa to maybe not start, but at the very least be that veteran presence in the locker room and to also potentially, I think, break a record of appearances at a World Cup. It would be like his 5th or 6th, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised. And I think ultimately I'd be happy with it over, Rangel or Acevedo.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I mean, if you have 3 goalkeeping positions open, just put Ochoa on. Just put him in.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. It'd be so easy to. And the veteran presence that he would give for the entire squad, I think, would be huge. And not only that, he's just such a spiritual figure for Mexican fans across the entire world. To see Ochoa in any sort of Mexico kit at Mexico stadiums during the World Cup, I think would do wonders for like an entire nation.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful to see, honestly. So, yeah, I'd say he should get called up then.
Yeah. And then in the defensive line, we have Kevin Alvarez, Israel Reyes, Cesar Montes, Edson Alvarez joining the team now after his injury that he had last month. That's another big name. Our captain, Vasquez, Chiquete Orozco, Jesus Gallardo, and Mateo Chavez. I mean, could this defensive line be any better with the players that we have right now?
No, it's exactly what you expect for Aguirre to call up, man. Montes, Vasquez, the best center backs. In my opinion, all of CONCACAF is the best pairing. Mateo Chavez just
boy.
trying to get into this lineup. I love that he continues to get the call-up. Even if it's not off the start, I love the depth that Aguirre likes to have in these fullback positions. You get that now with Reyes and Kevin Alvarez, too, on the other side. Gallardo still probably going to start. So I just love the flank depth that Aguirre has for Mexico in this back line.
Yeah, and no Jorge Sanchez getting the call-up. I know he's a big controversial topic for Mexico fans. I'm a little lighter on him, but if it comes to a debate between him and Israel Reyes, I always prefer Reyes in that position anyway. So I like that he's not on this list and he's actually going to go with Israel Reyes in that position. Then the midfield is where I get happiest, bro. Yeah. I get so happy. I'm looking at Edson Alvarez as that defensive midfield pivot, but then you got Gilberto Mora. You have Eric Sanchez, who I thought had a good window last time. Orbelín Pineda still getting the call-ups. Marcel Ruiz, who I think should be a mainstay in the midfield for us. Fidel Ambriz, the Monterrey midfielder, getting the call-up. And then Ober Vargas, who had a great U20 World Cup with Mexico and has been great for Seattle Sounders for the past 2-3 years at such a young age. He's getting the call-up, which just tells me that Aguirre actually watches ball, bro. Like, contrary to Tata Martino and Diego Coca, he watches players and he goes based off of their form. Granted, he missed a huge penalty to give Seattle Sounders the advance to the next round of the MLS, but he's been playing great. He's been playing great.
Now, for me, when I look at Mexico, I'm just looking for the names Marcelo Ruiz, Eric Lira, Edson Alvarez, and Gilberto Mora. If those four guys get called up, I know Mexico's going to have a great window. You're adding guys like Rubalcaba, now Vargas, and then even Ambriz. It's just extra depth for this midfield that I think is Mexico's best with those four midfielders that I already listed. So this is as good as it gets for Mexico.
It's interesting, bro. In every sector of the pitch, you have a name that I think can be very controversial that isn't here this time around. In the defense, it was Jorge Sanchez. In the midfield, no Charlie. No Charlie Rodriguez. And you know how Mexico fans feel about him? Oh, I think that's great. I think that's great. I'm not being sentimental here. I'm just saying he's really leaving off these players as the World Cup gets closer. Yeah. I think it's very interesting. Up front, Alexis Gutierrez, the Toluca product. Roberto Alvarado gets called back up. Diego Lainez, Rubalcaba, Chucky Lozano. Raul Jimenez is here too, coming off an injury last window. Berterame, and then La Hormiga Gonzalez. I'm looking at every sector of the pitch. We have our best players available coming off of injuries, and we also have a good mix of young talent that is actually very, very promising to make a call-up list that I am calling the best that I've seen in a long time. That's why I believe this is so good.
Are you going to miss Santi at all? Just presence-wise?
Well, that's the big controversial name that's missing in the offensive line, and it's a name that I'm ultimately fine not seeing, bro.
So now after 3 years, now you're fine.
Now that we have a replacement in Hormiga, bro. We didn't have this option. Santi was all we had, so I had to hinge my hopes on him. But now, Hormiga, bro, what he's done so far, I think absolutely deserves it over Santi.
Oh, definitely. And I'm actually really hoping he gets genuine minutes alongside Raul just to see how they play together, just to see. And the opponents will be good enough to where you can actually get a good litmus test as to how good Gonzalez can play up against what is ultimately European talent. So this is going to be a great test for Mexico's front line.
Now let's talk about the test that does away from Mexico, as our first game is against Uruguay, a team that qualified out of the Conmebol region, playing very good football, top 5 side over there. We've gone against Colombia. We've gone against Ecuador. What do you see happening in this matchup with Marcelo Bielsa's side? Missing some notable names, I believe. No Darwin Nunez, no Christian Oliveira, no Rochette in goalkeeping position. But it's Uruguay, bro. They have depth, they have great players, and they're always a tough team to play against.
That's where Uruguay really shines, is how tough they are to play against. Honestly, I see Uruguay as a defense-first type of team, and maybe it's not as apparent as it is with Ecuador, whereas Uruguay is just a more aggressive off the ball. They don't give you an inch, and I think Mexico's honestly going to struggle with that. The physicality that Uruguay bring to the pitch, it's top level. I'd be surprised if Mexico are able to string, honestly, more than like 3-4 passes for like the first 20-30 minutes. I think Uruguay are going to dominate the middle of the pitch. Defensively, Uruguay have one of the best defenses in all of South America as well. So I really see Uruguay dominating kind of the possession, or at least the 50-50 battles in this game. But where I think it gets good for Mexico is Uruguay's offense really isn't that good. At the end of the day, their front line is so much worse compared to the 8 players that are behind them that it kind of equalizes the game. That's why Uruguay ultimately just didn't have a great campaign. I mean, they were level with teams like Paraguay, for example, who themselves are good, but you would expect a big name like Uruguay to be, the top 2, top 3 list of CONMEBOL, but realistically, they're right in the middle of the pack with like a weird average Brazil, a Paraguay. So I think this Uruguay team will be very, very good, but I think it'll be tight. I really do think it'll be tight due to Mexico's very good defense and Uruguay's just lack of offense.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a tight, competitive matchup. We do have the home edge. I think Uruguay is missing some important players, and if I'm making the claim that this is the best call-up list we had in years, then I need to see Mexico get a result.
Yeah.
So I'm predicting Mexico wins 2-1.
Yeah.
I'm going 2-1. It's going to be a tough game, like the Colombia match, like the Ecuador games, but I think we have enough now, especially now that we have Raul Jimenez back. That was a big missing piece from last window where we didn't have that go-to option. We have depth offensively. We got our midfield back too as well. Assuming Aguirre starts our best 11, I think we can take it to Uruguay. I do. Yeah. I think we can win 2-1 in this game. What's the score prediction for you?
I'd be surprised if Mexico lose. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm with you. We need to see Mexico's best 11 actually put in a best 11 type of performance. Another thing that's going to be fun to see is that Mexican soil atmosphere. This is a perfect way to see how good Mexico is going to be at the World Cup in front of their home crowd. So we have to use that. You have to use that. Even if it's against a very good Uruguay side, I need at least a draw if you're Mexico.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I need at least a draw. Honestly, I could see 1-1. Yeah. I could see 1-1, but I don't predict draws. I just don't do it. So because of that, I'll go 2-1 Mexico. I'm with you. 2-1 Mexico.
I'd be interested to see the reaction to either a win against Uruguay or a loss, because I think we experienced an extreme with Colombia, and then we countered that with a tie against Ecuador. I feel like we need more data as a fan base. Mexico fans need more data to see where they really stand. I think Uruguay is a great next test, and Paraguay too. I actually really love these matchups for both the USA and Mexico. Mexico set to play against Paraguay at the Alamo Dome. This is also an interesting one, bro, with Gustavo Alfaro's side playing really, really good football since the Copa America.
Yep.
I believe they have almost a full squad from what I saw. And Enciso's getting called up, Alderete, Sanabria, Rosa, Almiron, Gomez. I know a lot of them are coming off of injuries, so we'll see if they actually get full minutes. But it looks like the full squad is here for Paraguay, and it will pose to be a very tough threat.
Oh, yeah. I actually love Paraguay. I personally think they're a better team than Uruguay. What I love about Paraguay's approach is that they have bruisers at the back with Alderete, who plays with Sunderland, Gustavo Gomez, one of South America's best center back talents ever. But then you have guys like Miguel Almiron, who can really stretch the pitch. You have an excellent dribble penetrator, Julio Enciso, who can create so much for you. So you get really physical defense, but then you have these creative offensive pieces that can really surprise you if you're not ready for it. That's how Paraguay have done what they've done in South America. They keep you to max 2 goals. Honestly, if that, I think you'd be lucky to get more than a goal against Paraguay. And then they have the pieces offensively to genuinely hurt you. So I love this Paraguay team. I think it'll be a tough test for Mexico, although I do think the fact that we're playing them second is going to play a huge factor. I've noticed a big trend, man, in these friendlies. The second game, there's so many changes. You really don't actually see a true 11 in these second matches, bro. Yeah,
Paraguay will be a very, very tough test, dude. And looking at them, like their narrative and what they've meant to CONMEBOL, I think they're on like an insane path of proving themselves against teams that have typically dominated them. Brazil, they defeated them. Colombia, I think they defeated as well. Argentina, they've had good matches against. Like throughout the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying cycle, time and time again, Paraguay proved that they deserve to be with the big boys in a sense of CONMEBOL. And so I'm actually interested to see from their perspective. I mean, Mexico has been a better team than Paraguay historically. Mexico just struggles against the top teams in CONMEBOL. But Paraguay's trying to be that, bro. So this is a game where Paraguay, despite it being a friendly, I know their fans, their people are going to be at home watching this game like, let's show Mexico that we're here to ball and that we're actually a threat for the World Cup in the sense of like maybe being a dark horse or being a good team. They're trying to prove themselves on that level because I think constantly they get underrated as a South American team.
Yeah.
Well, this team is really, really good, bro. Really, really good. And I think a lot depends for Mexico on how that first game goes and the momentum going into this match. I think this one will be a 1-0 result. I'm going to have to rely on Mexico to play great defense, shut down Paraguay, and get 1 goal from Raul Jimenez or Miguel, whoever. I'm going Mexico wins 1-0, but I see this as a very, very tight competitive match. Or I can see it the other way around, Paraguay winning 1-0 as well. I think Paraguay is definitely a big threat.
Yeah, I see this being super tight as well. The positive attributes we talk about Paraguay, I think are going to show in their first game against the USA. I really think there's going to be so much rotation in this game. Because of that, I think Mexico are going to get the result. So I'm going to go Mexico 1-0.
Okay. I'll take that though, man. At the end of the day, I'm predicting 2 wins for Mexico. I think that would be huge for the fan base and for the team. And I think I would be okay if we draw one of these. I'll be cool with that. Or if we draw both, low key. But losing or not being competitive, I think would really hurt if we get that in one of these matches.
I think losing by 1 goal would be okay. Like if you lose 1-0, 2-1 to Uruguay, I would actually be happy with that if it's truly tight the entire time. We
just can't do a Colombia again.
No, we can't.
That's my thing.
That can't happen against Uruguay. Uruguay don't have the offense to do that. So if that happens, then you got to sound the alarms.
Got us on the alarms. We'll have to wait and see, folks. Let us know down below. What do you see happening in these 2 matches? Let's go over to U.S. men's national team, who will be facing off against the same teams. First off, on Saturday at Subaru Park, home of the Philadelphia Union.
Yes, sir.
And then they play against Uruguay on Tuesday at Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What was the last Buccaneers game you saw? The Super Bowl?
I was going to say probably when Brady was there. That was it, man.
We got a very, very interesting call-up list. I mean, you can either walk us through it or we can just highlight the notable players. Whatever you want to do here with your beautiful USA squad.
I just have to note the omissions, man. I feel like every single break, there's a group of players that is just missing. And I think it's just driving me crazy, man. It's driving me crazy because I look across the board and I see Aguirre selections, and it's the definition of consistency, bro. And I want that so badly for us. We're just not getting it. So specifically at the back, no Chris Richards. And I just see that as just almost unacceptable. Like truly, he is, for me, the most important USA player outside of Christian Pulisic. And when we're going up against South America's best talent, we're going to need our best defenders. And we already don't have that. Just off the bat, as soon as that first whistle blows, we will be without our best defender in Chris Richards. That scares me. That's terrible. That's terrifying. It's terrible, man. So it's just such a big omission. And I was so excited going into this window because I was like, okay, Paraguay and Uruguay truly are some of the best teams in all of the Americas. This is where we need to play our best 11 so we can get a genuine test of how we're performing at the World Cup. But immediately already, we're not going to get that because Richards is missing. Yeah, and not only that, no call up for Cameron Carter-Vickers either. I'm not surprised by any of it because just window after window, Pochettino is just everywhere with his selections, bro. Everywhere. So I'm not surprised by this. I am just disappointed, though, because I wanted to see our absolute best 11 barring injuries, and we're not getting it.
Yeah, we're not getting it. Because I believe that's why Pulisic didn't get the call-up, right?
That's why Pulisic didn't get the call-up. But here's another thing. No McKennie. And he's not injured.
Damn,
he's not injured. I thought he was great in the last window, man.
He was.
He was fantastic. I was like, okay, we need to get him integrated into the side alongside players like Roldan, alongside players like Aiden Morris to see how they can form a good midfield trio. And Poch is like, yeah, we'll just not call McKennie against Paraguay and Uruguay.
Well, you gotta integrate Sawatsky. No disrespect. You gotta integrate him, bro. You gotta integrate Christian Roldan. You gotta
killing me, man.
You gotta integrate Gio Reyna. Is that a highlight?
It's interesting, right? Reyna's getting scrap minutes at Gladbach. It's not the best thing, but he is playing again. And we know that Reyna at his best is a difference maker. So I do like the call-up for that reason. There is hope that Reyna can build momentum. There's so much time left, right, till the summer. If he can build momentum at club level, Reyna could be a really important piece for us. So I love the call-up here. Regardless of whether he's playing or not, if Reyna's healthy, I want him somewhere around this USA squad. So I love it. But again, the omissions are just so glaring. I'm like, damn it, man. Yeah. It's tough. No Timothy Weah. He's coming off of an injury technically too. So you look at the front line, the only real starter is going to be Balogun or Haji Wright. That's it. The wingers are just completely fringe players. So to go up against Uruguay and Paraguay, I'm already like, damn, like this is just not going to be an accurate showing of what the USA will be at the World Cup.
Do you even consider Musa an omission? Because it seems like no one wants him anymore.
Yeah, dude, Musa's form unfortunately has just dipped so drastically. I actually,
you're not even bummed about
I'm not bummed. Yeah. I'm not bummed about it. Yeah. There was a certain point though. Him, McKinney, and Tyler Adams were fantastic together. But yeah, Musa's just so out of form. I don't think he can get called up. But that's the thing though. Tyler Adams gets a call up as well.
Good.
This one's
gotta have
big.
your captain.
You have to have him. His performances with Bournemouth this season have been sublime. Truly box to box. Outside of Chris Richards, I see Tyler Adams as our next most important defensive piece. He needs to be playing 90 minutes, game in, game out for this USA side. It's been a while, honestly, since we've seen him because he's also been injured. But he's back. He's playing very well with Bournemouth in the Prem. Very excited to see him alongside what will probably be maybe Tanner Tessman, maybe Aiden Morris, Christian Roldan for sure. So it's good. We getting players called up. I just wish we were trying to play our best 11. That's it.
Yeah,
I just wish we were trying to play our best 11.
Yeah, and like while still trying to integrate players like Gio Reyna, for example.
Yeah, you
I
can
think
do
like,
that.
testing him out, but within the best 11 that you have available to you, that does surprise me because with Gio Reyna specifically, I think I'm really excited to see what he can do. I really am. I think he's been a big topic of discussion for USA fans. Some are very high on him, some are very low on him. And lately, just haven't been able to watch him play football, bro, with his stint at Nottingham Forest and now at Mönchengladbach. But our very own Raj from the Men in Blazers universe actually asked him about his mindset going into the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And here's what he had to say.
Do you let yourself think about the World Cup at all, Gio? Does it not work like that? And if you do, what comes to mind on American turf, a World Cup, when you think about it?
The idea of, being with the group and, I've known these guys for so long. We've all been together for so long. It would, from the last World Cup, it's a lot of the same group. It'd be really special to sort of, take soccer in America to the next level. And I think, make kids dream like we did when we were little too, and, sort of make kids fall in love with the sport. So, it's not easy. It's a lot of really good teams around the world competing for this trophy. I'm not saying we're going to win it, but, our goal should definitely be to go as far as possible and, make a run and make our country proud.
I like where his head is at. I actually like that whole interview. I thought his mentality really came through.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem that bothered by all the comments that are constantly made about him online. So I think this moment here, this window is huge for Reyna, man. If Pochettino gives him that trust in those minutes, I think it's time for him to deliver, because if he's not doing that at the club level, you got to do it with the national team jersey. So it's a big moment for him.
Yeah, and another thing that really stood out throughout the entire interview is he's so aware of how young he was when he was going through all that. And it made me realize, I was like, damn, he's right. Like, dude, he was 19 when he was trying to star for this USA side at the World Cup. He was 20 when he was trying to feature them after the World Cup, trying to do big things with them in Nations League and everything like that. So Reyna's so young. He's still so young. He's 22.
Yeah.
He has so much of his career left ahead of him. And I love that he recognizes that. He knows he's going through a tough time, but he also knows that football's football. If you show up on the pitch, you will get called up. You will play. That's why I'm hopeful that he can still have some sort of momentum throughout this rest of the season and take that to the World Cup. I said it before. If Reyna's flowing, he is a difference maker for this side. So I hope he can get back into his old self, at least just physically. If he's physically healthy, I think Reyna could be a fantastic offensive piece for us, man.
I'll be looking at him, and then personally, I think I'm most excited to see the front line with Balogun having a great window last time.
Yeah.
Ricardo Pepi has been great for PSV, scoring game winners in the UEFA Champions League. Haji Wright, I thought was a standout last window as well. And then you got names like Brendan Aronson and Vamos' very own Diego Luna as one of the forwards up top. Yes, you won't have Weah, you won't have Pulisic, your difference makers, and the guys that would probably start at the World Cup. But these are good options, depth pieces that have the opportunity to show out and are on really good form, honestly.
Yeah, they're all on good form. I just wish we had more wing depth. That's it. Because our striker depth is actually looking weirdly good all of a sudden. But we just don't have a lot of depth in the wings, man. It's concerning, just to the point of like, if Pulisic or Weah, either of them are injured during the World Cup, like all of a sudden there's a massive hole in that wing position. But hey, we gotta make do. We got some tough games against Uruguay and Paraguay, though, bro. We got some tough games.
Yeah, what's the hope here? What do you want out of these matches, knowing the context of the call-ups?
Similar to how Mexico are hosting that first match in Torreon, the fact that we're hosting this game against Paraguay in Chester, Pennsylvania, I need to see the American Outlaws and everybody around them really show out, bro. This is the opportunity to give everyone a taste of what it will be like for the USA to host this World Cup. I need every single fan out there dying for this side. This is a talented side. And we honestly had a really positive window in October. So let's keep that momentum going. I like where Poch is taking this team. Again, I just wish he wouldn't omit some of these players. But I think the feeling, the energy around the camp overall is positive.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to say that about USA legitimately for like 2.5 years. So we're in a good spot. Let's not ruin it.
Yeah.
Let's not ruin it. Let's show out. Let's give the same desire, the same aggression that we saw against Ecuador in October. I want to see the same thing in Pennsylvania against Paraguay. I think it's going to be tough, though, because Paraguay themselves...
It ain't Australia.
No, that's the thing. Paraguay, if they play their best 11, it's going to be tough for the USA. So much so that I actually have Paraguay winning.
I got a draw.
I can see a draw.
Because that hopeful speech you just gave, I think some of that will be integrated. They just had their best window under Pochettino. It would be disastrous for them to ruin that momentum that he's built. And, if they got, like, absolutely killed by Paraguay, that'd be the worst thing possible. So I have a draw. 1-1.
I like
Haji Wright scoring. Pepe maybe even scoring if he gets minutes. Balogun, I don't know. Whoever. And Paraguay definitely scoring in this game to even it up. 1-1 draw, I think, would ultimately be a good thing, knowing that this isn't the best 11 for the USA.
A draw would be a win.
Yeah.
If we draw Paraguay, I will actually treat it as a win. I will be as happy as I could be. So, yeah, I'll take a draw. I will take a draw against Paraguay. But I really do think if Paraguay play their best 11, they're better than the USA side without guys like Pulisic, Richards, Weah. I'm going Paraguay 2-1 if they play their 18.
We last saw USA play Uruguay at the Copa America in the group stage action. That ultimately killed off USA's hopes with Uruguay winning that game. Well, here they are at Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, folks, looking to rewrite history. Big game in terms of the teams going up against each other, what it means for Pochettino, what it means for USA fans. Tell me something positive, brother.
I think we beat Uruguay.
Oh, okay.
I do think we can.
Okay. That'd be more stressful.
No, I think we can beat him. I think there'll be some rotation. And the thing is, I like USA's rotational players. When we play these second games, we actually generally play very well. So I'm actually confident in the USA's second match almost every single time. I'm actually not scared of a second game Uruguay side. I'm not.
Okay. I struggle seeing Uruguay having a bad window because I have them losing to Mexico. They were to lose to USA. I mean, terrible. Like Uruguay, that doesn't happen for them.
Under Bielsa, it has been happening. It has been happening under Bielsa. It has.
I have Uruguay winning 2-0. They got to get
2-0?
2-0.
Damn, man.
It's not the USA's best squad. That's a big caveat.
It is.
If it was the best squad, I think this is much tighter. With the squad we have right now, I have Uruguay winning 2-0 because they're going to come off of a loss against Mexico. That's my prediction. So they have to win that game. But regardless, we got two big matches for both Mexico and the USA. And it leads me to the final point of the show, the linked up segment presented by Verizon. We have a USA question from our boy Peyton Bender 19. He says, in Soltero's opinion, what is the best midfield for the USA?
First three names that immediately come to mind. If I'm Poch right now and I'm like, okay, the World Cup's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
If it's tomorrow and I'm like, all right, here's my starting three. I'm going Tyler Adams. I'm going Weston McKennie. And I'm going Aiden Morris. I'm going Aiden Morris as a more fluid option. I love the way that he's been playing right now. And if you combine that with McKinney's passing ability, I think it makes for a really fluid USA midfield. And then if you put Tyler Adams, Bournemouth version Tyler Adams as our box-to-box, I am incredibly happy with that midfield trio.
Yeah, I like that. Aiden Morris, I've heard, has been playing really good for Middlesbrough. So on form, I think he absolutely deserves it. McKinney as that consistent midfielder for y'all, and then Tyler Adams just being that brutal midfielder that he is. I'd like to see that. We'll see if Poch actually decides that in World Cup time.
That's the thing.
That'd be crazy.
If I don't know what Poch is thinking. That's the thing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Folks, let us know your thoughts and predictions down below. And we'll be back with match reactions to these games at the weekend. Till next time, guys. Peace.